The life of a fisherman, it never gets old. So welcome to the show. Come on, yo, we're going Ike.
Hey everybody, Mike Iaconelli here. I want to talk to you about the recent Going Ike episode, my trip to Italy. First of all, let me tell you, amazing trip. What a beautiful country. Great fishing, great food, great people. Had an awesome time there. But let me tell you, we had a fishing trip in Italy, and the thing I discovered is that a bass is a bass is a bass, no matter where you're at. And because of that, we had a fishing trip where this lure was the deal. And this is the lure that caught 80% of my fish on our fishing trip. And it's called the Molix Lover. It fits into a category called a vibration jig. But the Lover is pretty unique. All you guys know about the original chatterbait, but this one's built a little different. And if you look at it, it's got a skirted, single, free-flowing hook. It's got this very realistic-looking bait fish head on it. And then finally, the real key to the Lover, and this is why I love it, is this fixed reverse shovel lip. And this lip, this reverse lip, is the magic to this vibration jig. This is going to be what gives it the vibration, which is so key to triggering bites. And more importantly, this is what's going to give the bait its deflection properties, its ability to deflect and come off a cover without snagging into it. I want to tell you a little bit about the trailer that I fish, and then I'm going to tell you about a couple of the ways that I fish this bait. You know, in this video, in this Going Ike video, we used my #1 trailer that I like to fish on this bait and other vibrating jigs, and that's called a Devil Spear. This is a bait by Berkley. It's the big size, it's the 4 1/4 inch size, and it's a really special trailer, especially for vibrating jigs, because of that tail. And if I give you a close-up of that thing, you see that serrated tail on that thing. And that's what's going to give this bait some extra action. But the first thing I do, I take it out of the pack. First thing I do is I'm going to bite it down just a little bit. Bite about 1/4 inch off of the head of that bait. Shorten it up a little bit, make a nice flat seat on it. And then I'm going to thread it onto that single hook on that Lover. But now remember, this is important. I don't thread it on so the bait's laying flat. I thread it on so that Devil Spear sits sideways. And look at it after I thread that thing on there. Look at that profile. Really key. Bait fish style profile. And as you reel it, this thing's going to vibrate, but this tail is going to shimmy as well. And that's really key. In this video, you notice I fished the 1/2 ounce black and blue Lover. Really great bait in stained water, which is what we had. And now let me tell you a little bit about how I fish it, and then we'll look at the rod and the reel. And, you know, one of the keys to fishing this bait is to let it deflect off of cover. So I don't care if you're fishing grass or rocks or wood like we were in this video, or docks or whatever cover you're fishing around. On purpose, let this bait bang around and deflect off of that cover. A lot of your bites are going to happen as that thing's vibrating. It hits off something, it deflects, the fish eats it. And you're going to see a lot of fish catches like that in this video. A couple of the ways that I like to fish this thing, you know, the one is what I call a feathering technique. And it's a real cool technique with this Lover. And what that means is you're going to make a long cast out there. You're going to let it fall to the bottom on semi-slack line. And then instead of just reeling it back, you're going to lift it and let it fall. Lift it and let it fall. And when you let that bait fall, always let it fall on a semi-slack line. And if you could imagine what that bait's doing, as you lift it, that reverse shovel lip's making that thing vibrate, and then when you let it fall, it just kind of wanders down. And that tail, again on the Devil Spear, it's moving the whole time. So the feathering technique, and then of course what we mentioned, which is get around cover and fish it like a spinnerbait or a crankbait and just crash it into the cover and make it deflect. You know, on rods and reels, best way I can tell you is I like to fish the Lover. I like to fish vibrating jigs on the same rod that you would use for a spinnerbait. So a 7-foot medium action graphite rod is what I like. I use the 7-foot medium action Abu Garcia Ike series rod. It's a 7-foot medium, perfect rod for the Lover. On the reel, you know, I like a 7-to-1 or 6-to-4 gear ratio reel. Abu Garcia Premier, it's a great reel. And then finally, on the line for the Lover, I'm going to tell you that 80% of the time, under normal scenarios, I fish this bait with fluorocarbon. I like 15 to 20 pound Berkley Trilene 100% fluorocarbon. That line lets this bait get maximum action. In extreme cover situations, sometimes I'll go to 40 pound Berkley braid, but 80% of the time, use fluorocarbon. Let me tell you something. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you get around and you're fishing vibrating jigs, try this Molix Lover. Give that reverse shovel lip a shot. Throw it around cover, feather it, and you're going to catch some big bass. Mike Iaconelli for the Going Ike video, Trip to Italy.
When I fish like him, you know I'm fishing hard. You might wanna say that I'm going Ike.